Aranyer Bhuiyan. The name itself sent shivers down the spines of seasoned travelers. It was a name whispered with reverence and fear. The Forest of Whispers, they called it. It sprawled across hundreds of miles. Ancient trees clawed at the sky, their branches heavy with secrets. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy, casting the forest floor in perpetual twilight. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and unknown blooms. A symphony of sounds echoed through the woods. Leaves rustled in the unseen breeze. Insects buzzed, their drone a constant hum. But it was the whispers that were most unsettling. They seemed to emanate from the trees themselves, from the very air. Whispers that spoke of forgotten magic and ancient beings. Whispers that hinted at the forest's power. Deep within the heart of Aranyer Bhuiyan, nestled amongst the ancient trees, lay a hidden village. It was a place untouched by time, where houses perched on stilts and spiraling staircases seemed to grow from the forest floor. Here, amidst the whispers and shadows, lived a people in tune with the forest's every breath. They were the guardians of its secrets, the keepers of its ancient magic. And it was to this village, drawn by whispers on the wind, that a young traveller named Aryan came seeking answers to a mystery as old as time itself. Aryan had always been drawn to stories, not the ones found in dusty books, but those whispered in hushed tones around crackling fires. Stories of forgotten civilizations and lost artifacts. Stories that spoke of magic and wonder. His father, a renowned archaeologist, had filled his childhood with these tales. Professor Vikram, with his twinkling eyes and infectious laughter, had a thirst for knowledge that knew no bounds. He spent his life unearthing the past, piecing together fragments of history like a jigsaw puzzle. His quest for the Echo Stone had become legendary in academic circles, a stone whispered to hold the power to manipulate time itself. Aryan remembered the day his father had left for Aranyer Bhuiyan. He had been just a boy then, his head filled with his father's stories of the whispering forest. He remembered the excitement in his father's eyes, the glint of adventure that he always carried. He remembered his father's promise to return with stories that would make his hair stand on end. But the stories never came. Professor Vikram vanished into the heart of Aranyer Bhuiyan. He left behind a void in Aryan's life, a silence that echoed with every tick of the clock. Years passed, but the memory of his father and the mystery of his disappearance lingered. Now, years later, Aryan stood at the edge of the forest, his father's worn journal clutched in his hand. He was no longer a boy lost in stories. He was a young man on a mission to find his father, a mission to uncover the truth behind the legend of the Echo Stone, a mission to silence the whispers that haunted his dreams. The path to the village was not marked on any map. It was a secret path, known only to the forest and those who lived in harmony with its rhythms. Aryan followed the whispers, his father's journal, his guide. The forest seemed to test him, throwing obstacles in his path. Thorny vines snagged at his clothes, eerie animal calls pierced the silence. But Aryan pressed on, his resolve hardening with every step. Days turned into nights, and still he walked. The forest canopy began to thin, allowing slivers of moonlight to paint the path ahead, and then he saw it. A faint glow, like fireflies trapped in a bottle, emanated from the heart of the forest. As he drew closer, the glow intensified, revealing the village of whispering leaves. Houses made of wood and stone nestled amongst the trees, their balconies draped in flowering vines. Lanterns powered by fireflies and glowing moss cast a warm, ethereal light. The air hummed with a different kind of energy here. It was palpable, alive. A sense of peace settled over Aryan, a feeling that he had finally come home after a long journey. The villagers, with their kind eyes and gentle smiles, welcomed him with open arms. They offered him food and shelter, listening with patient curiosity as he told them of his father and his quest for the Echo Stone. They spoke of the stone with reverence, calling it the heart of time. The forest remembers the village elder. A woman with eyes as old as the trees themselves told him, her voice a low murmur. It remembers all who pass through its embrace, and it will guide you, young traveler, just as it guided your father.